This demo explains two very important features of ProtoMusician: catalogs and prototypes. The beat catalog is like a giant book full of sound patterns. You can search through the catalog yourself or let ProtoMusician choose for you. A prototype is a combination of sound patterns that you pull together from the catalog to make a complete drum beat. Click the catalog button in the upper right corner of the screen to show the catalog. Select bass drum from the piece drop-down and 4 checks from the filter drop-down. Now randomly select a pattern by clicking the button with the binoculars and question mark on it. Click the Listen button to hear what the pattern sounds like. The checked boxes indicate that the selected drum piece is played. The unchecked boxes indicate silence. The area below the catalog is where you build your musical prototypes. Musical prototypes are, again, combinations of sound patterns from the catalog that are played together. Click the blue arrow button next to the first row in the prototype area, and the catalog pattern will drop down into it. Next, choose the snare drum from the piece drop-down. And here's a tip. To quickly move to the S's in the drop-down, simply type S on your keyboard. Now randomly select the pattern and click Listen. If you like the way the snare pattern sounds, place it in row 2 of the prototype area. Otherwise, click random again until you find a pattern you like. Click play to hear both the bass and snare patterns play back at the same time. Here's some tips for navigating through the catalog. You can move through the entire catalog of over 65,000 patterns using the navigation buttons. Set the filter drop-down to Show All. Notice the beat number shows as 1. This is the first beat pattern in the catalog. Now click the Go to Last button, and you'll notice that the beat number is now 65,535, which is the last beat pattern in the catalog and includes all 16 checks. Click the Random button to go somewhere into the middle of the catalog. From here, you can go to the previous beat patterns or the next beat patterns. You can also search for a specific beat pattern if you know its number. And finally, you can go back to the first beat pattern. Some drum pieces, like a bass drum, typically sound better when there are fewer hits. You can limit the catalog to only show a certain number of hits by using the filter dropdown. If you only want to see sound patterns with 3 drum hits, then select 3 checks from the filter dropdown. Now when you use the navigation buttons, only catalog patterns with 3 checks will show. Similarly, other drum pieces such as a hi-hat are often played a few times more than a bass or snare drum. Set the filter to 12, for instance, when looking for a good closed hi-hat pattern. Let's add a closed hi-hat pattern to our prototype and play it. Let's do one more example. Click the Clear button below the prototype area. Randomly select a bass drum pattern limited to 8 checks and listen to it. If you think it will work, place it in the prototype area. Otherwise, randomly select a new pattern. Do the same for the snare, except limit it to 3 checks. Click play again. Now, doesn't this prototype sound completely different from the previous example? Because the number of bass drum hits is much higher than the snare, this prototype sounds like it is from a different genre. It may even begin to define a new genre. Well, now you know how to browse the beat catalog and build prototypes. Watch the next demo to learn just how many combinations of beat patterns are out there and how those different combinations can produce different genres.